It's like I know where I need to be.
Well, Jamie Palmer introduced the whole crowd of guys that he hung out with, and you guys were the cute older boys.
Cute? How about handsome?
Okay, handsome.
I remember that I was amidst a conquest when I met you. Second semester, junior year.
Really, what was your conquest?
My conquest was my 10-day rule, where I had 7 girlfriends. And on the 10th day, I broke up with each one of them. So it was a good time in my life.
I know that I'm married, 'cause I am down on my knees and waiting for something beautiful.
Then we were friends all throughout high school, but I didn't really want to date you yet.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, you weren't ready. I don't think you were ready. And then once college hit, for JP, we started hanging out more and more and more. And then JP asked me out on our first date,
But you didn't realize.
which I didn't realize was a first date at all. I thought we were just going to the movies
With friends.
with friends, like we do every Sunday, or we did every Sunday when we were younger. And when I showed up and nobody was there but me and JP, I was like, what's going on? Is this a date?
Now, this was after you had called me after a night out and came over to my house just so that you could kiss me and see what it felt like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. So I guess I started
You
it?
kind of initiated it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really nervous though because at that point I had feelings for you for a while, and wasn't sure if it made sense for us to try, or if we should just remain friends. And
I know, the big step, right? Moving from friends into a relationship. Well, I think when we started dating, like 6 years ago, yeah, we were young and dumb and maybe weren't ready for a serious relationship and marriage, but I think deep down inside we both knew that one day it was going to happen.
Right.
At least I did. Did you know?
I absolutely did. Absolutely did. From the moment that I fell in love with you, I have not fallen out of love. Fallen out of like a few times.
Yeah.
Here and there. But you were always the one, and there wasn't a question about that. It was when.
This is how the story goes. It happened this way a year ago. Kicking around the east side of town, just me solo.
Last July in 2011, JP and me hadn't talked for about 6 to 9 months. We were on I guess it'll be our final breakup.
Yes, our final breakup.
And he wrote me an email, a very nice, long email, and I never got it because
It was an
he
old
wrote
account,
it
right?
to my old email address account that I never checked anymore. And so I guess after a couple of weeks of me never getting the email, he got very frustrated and he went into my mom's work and said, "Why isn't your daughter answering
Hold
the
on.
emails?"
I had some banking business to do. It
Sure you
wasn't
did.
just.
Sure you did.
Okay, maybe I didn't. I actually had no reason to be out in St. Peter's at all.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that.
And said, "Why isn't your daughter answering my email?" And so my mom came rushing home that night and said, "Look at your emails." And I said, "I check my email every day." And she said, "Look at your old email address." And so I looked and I found his email and read it and wrote him an email back. And I was feeling very shocked and overwhelmed and excited and happy that he did that.
Puppy dog clothes, you can try me on. And if you're not happy, then I'll be gone. Have a drink of your double cafe mocha with soy. It's getting cold. I want to be.
So while I was planning, surprising you for the engagement, which was what I wanted. It was the most important thing to me outside of you saying yes, was the surprise. Because you knew it was coming, you just didn't know when. And so when I was planning, I called your work, I requested that you're off a half day and then the following day without you knowing, which was perfect. Your girlfriend Andrea at work set a mock appointment at your office, so I knew that you'd be there at 1 o'clock. And everything was just going too good. You know, I was like, this is just going to be perfect. And so it's the day before, and this has been planned for a month and a half, and it's the day before, and Emily decides to call in sick to work.
Because I had a sinus infection.
Yeah. And then you scheduled 2 appointments to look at churches, so you canceled my mock appointment at your office. And then with our wedding coordinator, set 2 appointments for the exact time I was going to pick you up at work. So then I shuffle around, I Google our wedding coordinator, get her phone number. It's the first contact I ever had with her. I said, Jenny, this is JP, Emily's fiance. We got to do something about these meetings because I got to get this ring on her finger. So I get over that hurdle and then the other hurdle. And so then the next morning comes and I'm thinking, okay, she's going to go to work. She's going to go to work. And I get a text message at 7:30 in the morning saying, baby, I'm so sick. I just called in sick to work. Emily has never called in sick to work in her entire life. Never. So
I was laying in bed, completely sick and sleeping, 10 o'clock in the morning, and he comes in with a giant bouquet of red roses and Michael Bublé music playing in the background and says, oh, look at this card. And so I kind of unfolded it, and it was 2 plane tickets to Chicago. And so he surprised me with a 24-hour trip to Chicago, and we were leaving in a few hours.
But then after that, everything else pretty much went off without a hitch.
My antibiotics, my Z-Pak kicked in, and we had a great time at the hotel. It was so pretty. And JP kept saying, we have to go up to the rooftop and get a drink. And I'm like, I'm not drinking tonight at all. Like, I'm on antibiotics. I'm dead sick. And he's like, well, let's just go up there and look at the view. And I'm like, okay. So we go up, and he gets to the hostess stand. He says, hi, we're in room 2604, and we would like a seat by the window. And I was like, did you rehearse that? What are you talking about?
When I had set it up with the maitre d' the weeks prior, it sounded so much easier rolling off my tongue via cell phone. But while I was just drenched in sweat, nervous already, I'm sure that didn't sound too candid.
So we were sitting by the window, and he grabbed my hand and told me to turn around and kind of go sit on the edge of the booth. And I was like, why? What's going on?
And you tried to stand up.
I did try to stand up. He told me, sit back down, sit back down. And I'm like, what is going on? Is there a bug? What is going on? Is there something on the ground? And so then you got down on one knee, and I started freaking out. And I said, what? This isn't happening. This isn't happening. You're not supposed to propose yet. And then you did.
And then I did. And then before you said yes.
Oh, yeah. Before I said yes, I grabbed the box and I put on the ring myself. Sorry. And then you said, you're supposed to say yes.
There's women in the background screaming, say yes!